Hey, this is Ross Harrison from Precision Health and Fitness. And today I'm going to share my favorite movement for releasing tension, increasing range of motion, just relieving stiffness from upper back, shoulders, neck, and sort of the whole spine area. So the reality is, it seems like at least the people I'm dealing with, everybody's more tense. I know I've talked about this a lot, but it continues to be true and almost increasingly so. And a lot of people have low back issues and tension in their low back, whether or not you have pain, might be some stiffness or achiness. Um, and the reality is, a lot of times people don't realize this, but the vast majority of the time that you've got tension in your low back or any kind of low back pain, especially if it's moderately intense or more, you've almost certainly got tension in either your mid back, your upper back, your shoulders, your neck, or possibly all of the above. The interesting thing about the body is, it likes to hide pain from us. So, I've had this happen a lot where um, somebody won't be doing, they'll generally be sedentary, and I'll start working with them and just getting their body moving, and they'll start feeling all these aches and pains. And initially, they think that, oh, this exercise or this movement caused me pain. But the reality is, the movements are just pointing out the tension that's already there. But since a lot of times people might be sitting a lot or not using their body in many of the ways it's supposed to move, the muscles don't react well. And then once that loosens up, then everything feels better, and they understand what's going on. But initially, it feels like the movement's causing pain, but it's tension that's already there. We're usually just not aware of it. So the upper back, neck, traps, all that stuff, most people carry tension there, and especially now, people are more tense than ever, it seems, and we've got a lot of tension there. But you don't feel pain until it gets past a threshold, almost like a critical point, where once your muscles may be this tight, anywhere in here, you don't feel anything. But once it gets to here, you're suddenly in a lot of pain and don't know why. And then people look for, oh, what did I do that made me hurt? And the reality is, this is something that builds over time, but your body will hide it as long as it can. And once you feel it, you've already got a significant issue. So this is something that greatly helps release that tension. And also, if nothing else, it gets you aware of what parts of your body are tense that you may not know about, so you can address the issues before they become a painful problem. So I'm going to show this from a couple different positions, and this is a little complicated, especially if you've got a lot of stiffness. And it's not hard, it may take some time for your brain to really understand what you want your body to do. And I'll show this in a couple parts, but essentially the first part is just going to be rolling your shoulder. And you want your arms straight out to the side. You don't want them up. Your shoulders should be down and relaxed. So if your shoulder's up here and your arms out, it's not going to have the desired effect. So sort of straight out, and then it's rolling your shoulder forward and rolling your shoulder back is the first part. There's a bunch of parts. So the big thing to be aware of is, if your hand's here, you don't want your hand to be moving your shoulder. You want the motion to come from your shoulder, and your hand will move as a result of your shoulder moving, not that your hand's like dragging your shoulder with it. As your shoulder rolls forward, it will come up and your shoulder will come off the ground. And at that point, you can use your arm a little bit to get a little more range if you want. But so here, with all of these types of movements, anything that's slow, it's really important to know that everybody moves differently. Everybody has different shoulder range of motion, shoulder tightness. Your left is probably going to be very different from your right. This is all normal. There's no goal of like, oh, I should get my shoulder, like, if some people have really tight shoulders, and if you say roll it forward and it just goes to here, and you feel stiffness and tension, that's where you stop. You don't push through it and try to force your way through the tension. It's just, okay, I feel some tension there. It feels like a good place to stop. over time you'll get more motion, but if you push through it or try to push through it, it'll actually cause the muscles in your shoulder to contract even harder and prevent even more motion. So the goal is just feel some tension, and you can hold it a little bit and then release back down. And then when you go backwards, to me backwards is harder, or it's harder to feel. Forwards is more natural. So when going back, your shoulder's going to roll back, but you actually want to feel sort of like the back of your shoulder or your shoulder blade is pushing into the ground. And there may not be a lot of motion, and that's fine. It's just you want to feel some motion in your shoulder if you have it, and more like I feel about this point in my back, just sort of pushing into the ground. So then, just playing with that, you can play with one arm, you can do both arms at the same time. Ultimately, the goal is for one arm to go forward while the other one's going backwards. And so I'll go backwards on this side. And then your head, if my left one's going forward, and you probably can't see that, but you can maybe see it raise a little bit. Again, I'll show a different angle in a minute. And the right one's going backwards, my head's going to go a little bit towards the right. And it's not like you have to crank your neck or anything like that. Just let your head relax, and you'll probably naturally turn towards the arm that's going back. And in this position, with one going forward and the other one going back, you ideally want to feel essentially between your shoulders, if you draw a line between your shoulders and your shoulder blades, some tension there. There's probably some there, and this helps just sort of release that tension. Again, if you're just cranking as hard as you can, probably not going to release the tension. It may actually add some. But if you're moving to a point where you feel some resistance and some tension, and just hold it for a second, and then just slowly let the arms return, and then you'll go the other way. And the head will go the other way, that will go the other way, and then you come back. So this is great for releasing sort of everything in between here. There's one other piece to this, which I'll show briefly, and then I'll switch, and you can maybe see it better from the other angle. But if this arm goes back and my head goes this way, the other arm comes forward, I'm going to have my legs go in the direction away from my head. So again, if I go the other way, it looks like that. That was a little fast, but this is something you can go at your own speed. It doesn't have to be super slow, like the last video where I did the ab arching and flattening, but you can go at whatever speed feels good. Just no jerky motion. It shouldn't feel like you're contracting your muscles. But when you add and I would practice the arms for a while and just get comfortable with that, and then add the legs later. But when you add the legs, the release stops being just up here, and it starts involving your whole spine. So this is great for releasing tons of tension that a lot of times people don't even realize they have. So, all right, let's see. From this angle, got one arm going this way, this is coming back, and then my legs will go this way. And I'll just slowly come back and go the other way, come back. So that's the whole motion. And it takes time to feel comfortable with this and to feel comfortable with the timing of the movements. It's not about doing it right. There's no like everything should move exactly the right time and both sides should feel exactly the same. Don't worry about any of that. It's just move your body slowly, under control, feel where your resistance is, and try to relax through it. So that's it. This I mean, honestly, I've had some people just doing it once or twice. Once they get a little comfortable with it, they notice their shoulder has more range of motion and less discomfort. I used it for my last shoulder injury, and it drastically reduced the amount of time that it took for some impingement stuff to heal. So it's a great movement, great if you have an injury. If you don't, just for maintaining mobility. So enjoy. It's one of the best things I can share, and I hope it serves you well. Take care. Have a great day.